guys, it's Leila Wairimo, or Leila Williams if you would like to call me that. I'm back with another video, and I'm sorry for staying without uploading another video. Just that a lot has been happening in my life, and everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. I'm going to adjust in posting. It's something new in my life, so I have to adjust some things. So thank you for subscribing, and I love you guys all, and I am looking forward for you guys to be out of my life, which it's a journey we are starting. And as you know, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And I'm so happy to bring you in my life, every single day life, and you're going to be seeing how a life of a recovering junkie is. It's not as awkward as it sounds, but it's kind of interesting because you get to learn new things, you get to experience new things that I never knew in my life I'm going to be experiencing. But I'm so glad God gave me a second chance, and I've grabbed it, and I'm using it as like, I feel like a new person. I'm using it as best as I can in encouraging everybody who is around me and trying to do things that I never did in my life. So this is a get to know me video. I hope in the few things I'm going to tell you about me are going to get you understand a bit about me. Although slowly by slowly as we go, you're going to get to know me, and you get to know about what person I am. I'm not that bad as you think because I'm an ex-junkie, but it's your job to see if I'm bad or I'm good, which it doesn't matter, right? Yeah. Thank you for subscribing. So let's go straight to the video. Okay, number one. Who is Leila? Leila is a naive, not little, but growing up lady. Someone who likes helping others, someone who has a big heart, and someone who spends the whole days like doing things that are there to change the country, and also to help in things that are not going good in maybe let's say in the place I am right now. But it's a journey, right? You can't just change everything. This is the world, right? But I am that kind of person that I can, even if I'm going through something, I can put that aside for someone to help someone else who's going through a lot worse than I am. So I have a big heart. I like helping, and just helping is one of the biggest things that I do every single day when I wake up, and I look forward to helping other people other people who are going through the same situation that like I am. So Leila, yeah, as I said, I am Leila Wairimo, and Wairimo is not really my name, which we'll talk about another day. I am Leila Williams, so that we'll talk about next time because I know it's a tricky thing, but we'll go deep into the details of why I have to Kikuyu and kinda Norwegian name. So that is Leila, and I have one kid. I have a baby girl. She's called Clara. She's my world. I do everything at some point of my life, I started thinking that I'm becoming a bad mom to her. So as I have changed, I am trying my best to become a good mom and to be a role model to my baby, because I never exactly got that, which we'll talk about another day, right? Yeah, now that's Leila. Why did I start using heroin? Wow, these questions, my friend wrote them for me. I'm thinking why I give it to her for her to write for me. Anyway, I started using heroin because I was at a state at my life that I don't know how I can describe it, but I was lost out of my life. I feel I was lost. I had a good job, as I said, and I can't say I was struggling, because the job I was doing then was helping me in everything I wanted. It helped me to provide for my baby. It helped me to, like, I was not struggling. Like, I was struggling maybe in some other bigger things, but not in money things, no. So I found myself at a situation where I am just there, like, I have a baby, right? I'm a single mom. I'm going to work every single day. Like, I have a life that every other person would like to have, but there is one big thing that was there. Like, I felt like I was lost. I didn't know what was missing. Is it that I didn't have someone to encourage me then, but I don't know? Or is it that in my whole life I have stayed like without having a bigger person in my life, like to tell me, don't do this, do this? It has always been me and my big sister. And it is sometimes it's always difficult, because you feel like, maybe for example, you're going through a problem and you don't know who to go to talk to. You feel like you can't talk to your big sister because maybe it's private, or maybe you're going through something that you're not ready to talk about, or something happened, some things that happened back in my life that was still haunting me then, until when I, like 20 years ago until now, but I didn't get to know what was going on with my life until I came to the MAT clinic that I am in, and I got to talk with the counselors which are here, which I encourage everyone who is outside who is using heroin and don't have any, they don't know what to do, and they don't have any information about where they should go into, how do they start, because they want to quit using heroin. I think you should come to, it is at Banana, it's a MAT clinic called Karori. It's called Karori MAT Clinic. It's run by MSF, Medical Sans Frontiers, and it's the best place you can go for it's a rehab. It's the best place you can go. We have the best services here. It's not like I am campaigning for the hospital, but we have the best counselors, we have the best services, the nurses, the doctors are just on top. I just love it, everything here. So let's go back to my story. Sorry for going to campaign, but I just love it's an outpatient, by the way. It's not a rehab that you go in. It's not an inpatient, it's an outpatient, but they have the best services. So sorry, we were like, it was back when I didn't know who to go back to, who to run to, because I've not said this, but me and my sister were just the only family we got. A story for another day. Sorry, I'm telling you because it's a very long story. I think I will just do a video for my childhood life story, and then you'll get to understand why I'm doing that, and about the names, I bet you'll understand everything. So I was lost, and I started doing shorts. I used to go outside. I used to work at Kirinyaga Road in Nairobi, so selling spare parts. After I come out of work, I used to come out of work like 6. I used to go to a certain club, and I do shots, like tequila shots or vodka. Yani tequila nimeenda mbali, sorry. Just local liquor in Kenya, right? I do like shots, and then I go home when I am drunk. That is something I did for maybe a whole 2 months, right? Because after I get out of work and I go and do the shots, I used to feel like a burden has been lifted off my shoulder. I used to feel like, I am high. I don't remember. I feel like I'm just okay. I'm just okay. I used to feel like that, but not to understand that the following morning after I wake up, the problems I used to go through, the whole burden thing in my heart. You just wake up in the morning and you feel it, the whole hangover thing. So I just want to say that anyone who is going through any problem, or feel like you're going through a problem and you don't understand what's the problem, I think what you should do, even if you can't afford a counselor, try go and talk to someone who is outside there, someone who you think is even if it's your mom, if you have a mom, even if it's your daddy, go and or your relative or just anybody outside there, because talking to someone is going to lift the burden outside your your heart. And at least talking to someone is the biggest thing you can ever do, because you're sharing it with someone, and after the person you're talking to tells you back what they think about your situation. Maybe they'll tell you something that you never thought of doing. You don't even know what they'll tell you. But I think a problem talked to someone. If you talk to someone about your problem, you will, in one way or another, you'll feel relieved because you've shared it with someone else. So that was the biggest mistake that I did that made me start using heroin. And I can't say I regret it, because that side of my life made me find my purpose, made me feel like I know what I was brought to this life, because I know what I was brought to this life for. Hey, Kizungu, no, my boss. Anyway, so like trying to talk about something is the best. Sorry, I was interrupted with someone. Very sorry. So talking to someone is really something that you can do when you're going through something. So my biggest mistake I didn't look for someone, because I just didn't know who to look for, and I didn't know who to talk to, because my life back then, I surrounded myself with a really small circle. The people I trusted were little, because I was afraid of trusting people because of my past situation. So I was really afraid of trusting people, and I didn't know what I should do or who to go to. So it was just tricky back then, but I'm glad I found myself. Though finding myself was really, really tough, I'm glad I found myself. So after taking the shots, some friend of mine, I used to smoke weed, sorry to say that. In the mix of using alcohol, I started smoking weed. And after smoking weed, I used to feel weed was really high back then, because my head was just, it had never, like, you know how it is. I know some people understand me. It is, if you've never used weed and then you use it, you're going to feel it, it's going to carry you, right? You're going to feel high. But in the process of you can't compare heroin and weed, because I know yes, I used to feel the highness of weed, and every time I take shots and I come to the house, I used to smoke weed, and for a period of time, for like, let's say 4 months, and then that is when this one day, one of my friend went to where they bought weed, and they were introduced to heroin. Back then, they never knew what heroin was. We used to call it stuff. So I was like, okay, I've never known what heroin is, but this thing, let me tell you, and I'm not saying in a bad way, let me tell you, that thing has a very bad way of making you feel like you need it. It has a very, I can't say it's a unique highness, but it's a really bad unique highness, because the moment you start it, it's called nionje unifuate. In English, that is, taste me and then you follow me. Because anytime you taste it, you're going to need more and more and more. So it's just, you can say that heroin is just brought to destroy the people who have like, I honestly can't explain that, but heroin is just not a good, it's not a good, even the person that I hate the most in this world, I can never want her or him to start using heroin, because it's the baddest addiction. I've never seen an addiction like that In fact, I've never been in an addiction. That was the first addiction I was in, and it was the worst experience I've ever had in my whole life. I've gone through shit in my life, but that was the biggest shit I've ever gone through. That was the situation that I found myself, and I used to cry every single day, asking God, how did I find myself in this situation? How, me, why, how? Many questions. So after that day that my friend went to buy weed, and then he was introduced with heroin, and then he was introduced